Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. The Los Angeles Chargers defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 34-27 in what was looking like a first half dominant statement win by the Chargers. Everyone was writing up the Bengals obituaries. Hope you saved them, because they are still applicable. But 27-6 at halftime. Bengals defense had no prayer. Justin Herbert was stepping into throws and looking great, looking in rhythm. The Chargers lines were dominating. There was just no possible way to expect the Bengals to make a comeback. I mean, sure, you could expect Burrow, Chase, Higgins to get a few big plays, put up some fantasy stats in the second half. But to expect that the Bengals defense would make the 5 to 6 huge defensive stops needed to make a comeback down 21 at half would have been insane to suggest. But they got them. The Bengals almost pulled this off, and it's heartbreaking because they go to 4-7. It really does feel like those obituaries are needed, and it's just, man, they came out and they fought for their season. And the high-flying Chargers, the in-rhythm Chargers, the Justin Herbert stepping in to throw, that was gone in the second half. It replaced by 3-and-outs. The Bengals got going and the Chargers stopped. And you're thinking, same old Chargers, right? Everyone's certainly thinking about the divisional playoff game against the Jaguars in 2022. When the Chargers had a lead, similar lead, and they blew it to the Trevor Lawrence Jaguars and ended up losing that playoff game. That's what's going through everybody's mind, right? We're getting more and more feeling of that classic chargering a game. It felt like that. They kick a field goal, but they give up a touchdown. They leave Jamar Chase one-on-one on like the 2-yard line. Burrow hits a slant to Chase. It's a touchdown. Then they go 3-and-out. Bengals get another touchdown. It's that 4th-and-2 bomb to T. Higgins, which is a huge moment in the game. And Chargers get the ball back. Now it's only 27-20. And they actually start driving there. And I did have a thought there, like, man, maybe this isn't the same old Chargers. They're running the ball, getting a couple first downs. J.K. Dobbins had a run where it looked like it should be a 2-yard loss. He's surrounded by all of the heroes of the Bengals' recent defensive success, the 2021 Super Bowl, like Pratt and Hendrickson and Hubbard. He's surrounded by like 4 or 5 Bengals, Dobbins is, and he just backs out of it and instead runs 12 more yards. For a first down. You're thinking maybe it's not the same old Chargers. That's the end of the third quarter. A lot of time to ruminate on that. Like, hey, Chargers kick a field goal here. Even a touchdown is great, but even a field goal is like at least a statement. It's going to stop the slide. Fourth quarter starts. Justin Herbert running the ball, fumbles, and again just brings the narrative on himself that he has no killer instinct. When he is needed, he is nowhere to be found. His face after fumbling that ball, I don't know. He was okay. He seemed like, I don't know, what am I going to do tonight? Like, we could play pool. Like, it just, some people are like, boy, Herbert really wants to win. Like, I feel like he's more annoyed that the cameras are on him than that he fumbled. But of course, that's impossible to know. And so Herbert fumbles. Burrow takes that, drives it down. Now it's 27-27. And this took 18 minutes of game time to come back from 21 down. This 18-minute, 21-point comeback. This was like the essence of why the Bengals love Joe Burrow and defeat and defend him against anyone who says that the Terminator Justin Herbert with the quote-unquote better arm and better mechanics and better completion percentage and stuff, why Burrow is the guy. Joe get it done Burrow versus Justin, yes sir, so sorry sir, Herbert, right? That was this 18 minutes was like the epitome of that. And it's tied 27-27. We go into Act 3, which was an intense, prolonged time at 27-27. I loved this game. I loved this second half. Justin Herbert just going 3 and out, air mailing third downs. I think all 3 third downs, you put those on tape, and he should have had them. They were just missed throws. He's jogging off the field for the punter. That's what he was doing for the fourth quarter of this game. I know the Chargers later won, but let's still consider that's a little concerning. Burrow took 2 of those punts, drove 46 yards and 56 yards, stalled twice. Credit to the Chargers defense. Man, they're playing hard. And the Collinsworth and Tarico are calling out those young rookie corners who are making plays when it matters. But the Bengals had nothing to show for that almost 100 yards of Joe Burrow, breaking through tackles, and he was running for his life today because McPherson missed both of those field goals. So every time Herbert gets the ball back, you can't get 3 and outs forever, though they did get one more 3 and out, and a dropped pick 6. Mike Hilton almost had a real big moment for the city of Cincinnati, but he just couldn't quite hold on. That's when finally Herbert, who had like 8 complete incompletions in a row, hits Ladd McConkey a couple times and just the beautiful sideline passes. McConkey, this wonderful motion to free him up, gets along the both the right sideline and the left sideline, both huge plays into field goal range. They have the opportunity to wind down the clock. They don't even have to do that because Dobbins ends up running the touchdown in, but Chargers get it. 4th time's the charm on that one, and the Bengals fall. And it is brutal. Man, the comment boards are like, how did the Chargers not Charger this game? They kind of did. They just ran in to a cosmic force that supersedes even their historically downtrodden franchise ghosts. The ghosts of Dan Fouts and Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees, or more accurately, the special teams and defense who surrounded those Hall of Fame quarterbacks who kept letting them down over and over again. Those Chargers franchise ghosts, they were outdone by the 2024 Bengals and whatever is following this team. I have watched these games. They do not deserve to be 4-7. They do not deserve to be 0-4 in this game, Chiefs game, and the 2 Ravens games, especially Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. What's funny is that the week 1 narrative that everybody had about the Bengals really holds, and it was that they could not afford to lose that game to the Patriots in week 1 with their incredibly tough schedule. Their other losses, the Eagles, certainly nothing to be ashamed about that. Week 3, the Commanders, that was the peak of Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, Commanders mania. Nothing to be ashamed about that. It's just incredible that they are 4-7. And it bums me out in a way. I was rooting for the Bengals, not because I really care who wins this game. I'm happy that the Chargers are, if there are Chargers fans, and there should be, seemingly there are some, They deserve a win here because they've had a rough 2020s with Brandon Staley and just all the miscues. But there's some hope for the Chargers. But I was rooting for the Bengals because I want to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs. But I don't know now. I do not know. It's going to be extremely tough, and maybe we are looking at the end of this run of from 2021 to now with Burrow and Zach Taylor and Lou Anarumo. We're certainly done with T. Higgins. Unless they can run the table from here. They do have a bye week and they've got an easier schedule, but maybe we are looking at the end of this nice little run for Cincinnati, and we'll see what Burrow's 3.0 comes with next year. But really disappointing for the Bengals, really exciting for the Chargers. we'll be talking about them a lot more because I think we're seeing them in the playoffs because this game is just a huge game. Mukilteo Football Show. The show is football, everything. NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of a season. We got shows Sunday, Monday, and Thursday after the primetime games. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Week 11 is in the books. Congratulations to Matthew Stafford. The Rams defeat the Patriots in Foxborough. Get some revenge for the 0-1 and 18 Super Bowls. No, I'm just kidding. What I'm congratulating Stafford about is joining the top 10 touchdown throwers in NFL history. He has moved into sole possession of 10th on the career leaderboards. He was tied with Eli Manning at 366 ever since he threw that overtime touchdown in Seattle a couple weeks ago, because he didn't have any touchdowns in the Miami Monday game. So he was tied, and he broke it. He broke it in style with a 4-touchdown game in Foxborough. He's now at 370. That's something pretty cool. I'm glad that Sunday Night Football was good, but like many, I just can't help but wonder why the Mahomes-Allen game is not primetime. And, I mean, it hasn't been any of the last 3 years, I don't believe. I think that this is just CBS saying, if you want us as a partner, you give us Mahomes-Allen, period. I feel like Romo is going to announce that game. I don't know. But it was a great game, yet again. Buffalo, Kansas City, Week 11. Buffalo's 8-2. Kansas City's 9-0. And it's in Buffalo. And Kirk and I had mentioned, hey, maybe both teams actually want to lose. Buffalo, don't keep spending all your karma on beating the Chiefs in the regular season. And Kansas City, maybe drop one here to Buffalo. Let them expend their karma, right? But also get out of this undefeated, pressure cooker that you could be in near the end of the season, where you have to go, should we go for the undefeated season or should we rest? That's always stressful. I always think of the was it the 06 Colts? No, it wasn't. I think it was the 04 Colts. It was one of the ones that didn't go to the Super Bowl. I always think of that. But to both teams' credit, they did not try and lose this game based on these things I've been saying. It was just a hard-hitting playoff atmosphere game between Chiefs, Bills. This is the fourth matchup since they played that 2021 divisional 13 seconds game, one of the best games in NFL history. And all 4 of these games have been good. And they haven't just been shootouts. They've been really balanced, tightly contested football. I love watching Bills Chiefs. That is, if I get to pick what teams are playing today while I watch this afternoon, I want it to be Bills Chiefs. And the Bills pull it out. It was back and forth. Both defenses really clamped down at the beginning of the second half, and the Bills made the final play. They were aggressive. They got to their 26-yard line. They're up 2 because Mahomes has just cut the lead way quicker than they thought he was going to. With that touchdown, I believe, to Noah Gray. Buffalo drives all the way to the 26-yard line. It's 4th and 2. They could kick it and go up 5, or they could go for it. And they went for it. Allen drops back. He's hit 9 different receivers. Scrambles through, just breaks tackles in the pocket, tackles at the line of scrimmage, tackles at the second level, and barrels through somebody, contact at the goal line into the end zone. It was just Josh Allen, Buffalo Bill football. Into the end zone, sealed the game. Everybody's cheering. Everyone's going wild. Everyone's singing, "Hey, Buffalo." And I maybe it's a legendary play. Maybe it's not, right? Because, Josh Allen threw a last minute, and I think it was 59 seconds left, touchdown to Dawson Knox, and then Taron Johnson intercepted Pat Mahomes to win, to defeat the Chiefs in 2022. Who remembers that, right? The famous Kadarius Toney offsides last year. It was a Bills must-win game in Week 14. Do we really remember that game that way as a great Bills accomplishment? All we remember are the playoffs. Wide right to the 13 seconds game. So Bills have thrown their hats in the ring for the number 1 seed. I think that's the important thing here. They've knocked the Chiefs off of a pedestal of this undefeated aura. They've definitely done that. And the Chiefs, honestly, maybe they're happy to be off that pedestal. Like 9-0, I don't know that that's going to be remembered in NFL history. In this dynasty. Like I didn't remember that the 2005 Patriots, had such a long winless streak or undefeated streak to start the season. I didn't remember that after their back-to-back Super Bowls. 9-0 is not quite enough to be remembered for history. So I think this is it. We're just going to remember it for now. And we can still focus on the Chiefs as a major contender trying to three-peat. That story is still on the block. All right, let's talk about the Bears and the darkness of life that circles us all. That circles the Bears lose at home to the Packers 19-20 on a kick. Cairo Santos' kick is blocked by the Packers as time expires. It was just, it's heartbreaking because you felt like the Green Bay Demons were on notice. Like this field goal going through the posts at Soldier Field was going to signify hope for a new era for Chicago Bears fans and just somehow give us a breath of relief. And I say us, but Chicago Bears fans mostly, breath of relief from a franchise that has dominated them for 32 years. Green Bay has dominated Chicago for 32 years, from Favre to Rodgers, and now Jordan Love's 3-0 against them. Does anyone even in Chicago even really remember the 80s when Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan, and they were just thumping Green Bay twice a year and to not even of note, really. They were just crushing Green Bay twice a year, every year. How they must long for that. Because now they're 15-40 versus Green Bay since 92. 15-40. And it's probably felt way worse than that because most of those wins came in 06, 07, 08 with the Urlacher Briggs prime. So you're thinking finally, okay, the scales are up in the air. Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, that's not decided. You don't know which one of them is going to have a better career. And both of them played kind of shaky today. Caleb Williams hasn't thrown a touchdown since London, since week 6. And Jordan Love's thrown a lot of picks. But this game was made muddy, made sloppy by the Bears. They were running the ball. The defense was playing well. Caleb Williams was making smart decisions. And in the final drive, he made, as Tom Brady called out, his 3 best throws of the day. And he got them to the 30-yard line, I believe. Eberflus threw the white flag for some reason right there. He's like, no, that's a 48-yard field goal. We're going to run the ball once for no gain and kick it. I mean, I'll never get over this. Why is it manly? Why is it manly to run the ball and kick? Right? You're a coward. Throw the ball. And get down there and make it a real field, an extra point, basically. You had a minute and a half. It's not manly to run the ball and drain the clock. It's cowardly. We've got to get over this. Eberflus blew it, man. I know that you can't, I know that 48-yard field goals should go in, especially nowadays, but you had so much time. And you had just seen 3 dimes from Caleb Williams. 3 of them. 1 of them on the run, which was so nice. Bears absolutely blew that ending. And misery continues. All right, last game to review. And this morning I just had Bears, Packers, and Steelers Ravens on my TV. And I thought that not to beat the same thing I was talking about with Bills Chiefs, but if I got to pick, if I had to pick 2 games to watch in the morning, I'd like Bears Packers, Ravens Steelers. Thank you very much. Then we'll move to the afternoon and go Bills Chiefs. Let's do it. And we did it. And it was a good game. This Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, 18-16. The Steelers hold off the Ravens. They were big hits. There were fumbles. There were fights. Refs making offsetting announcements at personal fouls. Like he gets a personal foul, he gets a personal foul. By the way, reminder that this is like, if you get another one, you're going to be disqualified. It's not exactly a quote, but it was something like that. By the way. And the Ravens were down 7-9 at halftime. They had 2 turnovers, including a Henry fumble, 2 missed field goals from Justin Tucker. And I thought, man, they're going to run away with this in the second half if they're only down 2 points after 2 missed field goals and 2 turnovers. But the Steelers defense clamped down. The Steelers offense ate clock. They couldn't score. And it never even felt like they were going to score. Like Russell Wilson, they had 6 field goals. They also had a red zone interception. If the Steelers had just gotten 1 touchdown, the game would have been out of reach. But it never felt like they were really going to. So instead, Boswell kicks a 6th field goal. It's 18-10, and the Ravens got plenty of time and plenty of timeouts to just go drive and get a 2-point conversion. Get a touchdown and 2-point conversion. They do drive. They do get the touchdown to Zay Flowers, and they miss the 2-point conversion. Steelers sniff out this kind of obvious designed run. I think Isaiah Likely screwed something up. Isaiah Likely, by the way, just getting to watch this whole game, he is an F-up, man. He is just making boneheaded plays all over the place. You can see why he's not really able to become a true starter. He's holding the ball away from himself. He's running the wrong routes. He's yelling. I feel like he didn't know the play on that 2-point conversion. And that, of course, how would I know that? I don't. Just throwing it out there, because that's what you do when you get a microphone in front of your face, I guess. But Steelers get this win. They're 8-2. Ravens fall to 7-4. But my takeaway is, the Steelers are not better than the Ravens. If they play again, which they do in week 16, or if they both reach the playoffs and we've got to do, who do we think is going further? I still say Ravens. Just pretend Tucker made both field goals. The Ravens win this, even with all the other stuff going wrong. It's just, that's what it felt like to me. Remember when the Ravens blew out the Buffalo Bills 7 weeks ago? How quickly you forget things. So yes, Steelers get the important win. Ravens fall to 7-4, but I'm not worried. I think the Ravens will either take the AFC North or be the more formidable AFC North team in the AFC playoffs. All right, my name is Miles. Have a good night.